This is the Overstreet Girls. Head to Africa, take 2.
Take 2.
Episode 2. Part 2. Whatever. So anyway, this will be my 4th trip to Mozambique, and this will be Isabella's second. So anyway, you can read down in the bottom of this page right here. You can read more in detail of the entire story of how we wound up here. But all in a nutshell is we feel that we do need to both return this year. And so here we are. Part of what we have to do in order to go there is raise enough money for each of us to go. Now, in years past, it has been $4,000 a piece. So last year we had to raise $8,000, which was a pretty intimidating sum of money that we needed to raise fairly quickly. But we were able to. The Lord was able to provide that money to us in a timely fashion, that we were able to meet every single gate that we needed to. And I believe that's going to happen again this year. The best part is it is not quite as expensive now that we no longer go through the organization we were going through. We do all of this on our own now. And so our costs have gone down significantly. It's still a pricey little chunk. It is sitting right at $3,400 per person to go. So we are needing to come up with $6,800. Now, some of that will be on our own. You know, we will budget and provide some of those funds on our own. But we understand there are a lot of people that have always said, you know, we're never going to be able to do something like that. We wish we could do something like that, but we can't, but we would love to be able to give. And so we don't deny that it takes a village to do something like this. And so here we are, just putting out our video for this year, just to kind of hear what's on our hearts and see if there's any way that you could either prayerfully or financially help support us on this journey. So anyway, we're just going to have a little dialogue discussion, a little question and answer session, a little Q&A to let you guys hear some of the things that are on our hearts. And I am going to start with, I'm going to ask Belle a question.
Yes.
So, Belle, tell me about your trip last year. Tell all of our friends about your trip last year. What about
friends? Okay. Don't laugh at me.
Okay.
Okay. So, on our trip last year, it was really eye-opening to me. And, so everything we did was the plane ride, and then...
It's a long plane ride. It's a long plane ride.
So, and we painted the children's area at the Healing Place Mozambique church, and then we visited some of the widows' homes, and we brought them food because their families don't really care about them or don't care for them. And then what else did we do? And we loved on all the kids. Now, of course, the feeding program wasn't going on at that time, but we still got to love on all the babies, and that was really cool. And
there's some pictures on the sidebar of this website that I made sure and include a lot of the pictures from last year where Belle got to, I got the privilege of watching her get it. You know, I can remember, you know, the moment that I got it, my first trip there, and she was kind of apprehensive at first when we first walked into that area, and the kids just kind of began descending, and I kind of watched her just, what do I do? And then as she began to just kind of fall into what was there for her, I saw the moment that she got it. And so there's some of those pictures over here in the photo gallery if you want to click over and look at those. So, all right, do you have any questions for me?
Okay. Yes, I do have questions for you. So my first question for you is, what has been the coolest thing about all of your 3 trips?
This will be my 4th.
Well, yes.
Probably the coolest part about, if I was to kind of smush it all together, is probably the relationships. I think my first trip, it was just so, I was awestruck by what I was seeing and what was going on, but I took every opportunity that I could to just get to know each and every person that I came in contact with. The hard part is they speak Portuguese in Mozambique, and so, and then some of them even speak a dialect called Xingon that's even difficult for the people that do speak Portuguese to understand. And so, but I tried to take the opportunity to really get to know and invest in the individual that was, face to face to me at the time. And I think the most shocking thing for me was when I returned the second and third times was just that so many people remembered me, and we already had established a rapport, which was kind of unexpected for me, because I thought, well, they see teams come in and out of here every so often, and they might just think, well, they're not going to come back. But I can remember standing up by the church and hearing my name yelled from across the way, and it was some of these ladies that remembered me speaking at the ladies retreat that we had there for them the year before, and some of them could remember my name, but they remembered my hair. So but anyway, that was really kind of cool, and I don't expect it to be any different this time. I expect the relationships to be further and further developed. Same with the relationships with the pastors that live there. I count them among Heart Family. They are amazing people, and I'm blessed that our relationships have just grown over the years as well. So, Belle, what was probably the most special moment for you last year while you were there?
Okay.
Just one.
Yep. Okay. So the most special moment while I was there last year, I think would probably have to be when I got to speak to the young ladies in the church. So, basically, what I did last year was Miss Carol, she asked me if I would speak to all the teenagers in the church, so that it's like the 10, 11, 12-year-olds up to the 18-year-olds, I think. Yeah. And, she asked me to speak to them. So, I spoke about faith and the fact that, even if you can't see God, knowing that He's still there. And, that's what I spoke on. But, it was really special to me because I just got to share my heart with all of those girls. And that was, just one of my favorite parts, and just the difference that I think it made, because even though I couldn't really understand them, the translator, there were lots of different translators, but they would tell me, they would translate what they were saying to me, and the girls that were talking to me after the service, they were saying, yeah, what you said, it just made me really liked it, and it just made me think about this and made me think about that, and it was just really eye-opening for me. And then, that was just kind of something that was really special.
Let me ask you, how old were you when you did that last year?
I was 12, and it was the first time that I had done it. But in the service, I told them my name and that I was from America. And
that was kind of obvious. But
yeah,
okay.
Obviously. But then I told them that I was obviously from America, and then I told them my age, and I was like, I'm 12. And when Miss Carol translated it, everyone started laughing, and I was like, did I say something wrong? What did I do? And she was like, nothing, it's just all of the smaller people that you see in here. And I thought maybe those people were like 5-ish or something. But she was like, all the smaller people that you see in here, they're your age. And I was like, okay. And they all turned because they knew that she was my mom. And everyone like turned to the back of the building and they were like, really?
I had to validate that she was 12.
Yeah.
So, you've never spoken to a group before like that? That was your first time. And how cool to be able to get to do that to a group of ladies in Africa. It's pretty cool. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so what has been the most special part out of all of this for you?
Probably the most special moment. I mean, there's been a lot of special moments. I've seen miracles beyond belief. But probably the most special moment for me was during my first trip, and that was, I can remember standing on the steps of the church and just realizing that this was not a one-time thing for me. Knowing that this was going to be a lifetime investment for myself and my family, obviously. This could have been just a mission trip that I went on for the summer and learned a lot and hopefully, blessed some people that were there, and then, went on about my life. But I knew before I ever left that it was something that whether I was ever called to go back, that it was something that I would for a lifetime be a part of. There's a lot of things that get to go on. Anyone has an opportunity to be a part of the feeding program that's there, where we actually, get to go and physically feed hundreds of children per day. That some of them, this is the only meal that they get. And if nothing else, I'm blessed to get to be a part of that. I'm blessed to say that I still have conversations with Carol. Just I count them as friends and family. There's just going to be a lifetime connection with that small corner of the world over there for me for the rest of my life. And that was probably the most special moment for me, was when I realized that. So, okay, Belle, what was your biggest just whoa moment? Like, what was something that just kind of blew your mind? One, just one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My biggest whoa moment was when we went and visited the widows in their homes and gave them the groceries and stuff. And just to see how they lived and how people treated them, because basically they lived in little bitty huts made of grass and mud, and then when it would rain, they would have to go and like take mud and spit on it or something and patch up the holes in their house. And like they would build their houses and they would have nasty toothbrushes that they just stuck in there to keep the holes closed. And what their families would do, they would basically just wait for them to die so that they could take their property and take all the land that they had and all of their possessions. And it just really, it shocked me. And then I thought about how, like this house and what I live in and how people treat me compared to that over there. But at the end of every home visit, we would ask them if there's anything that we could pray for them about. Most of them would just be like, nope, God's been really great to me, and I have everything, and I have everything I need, and it doesn't really matter to me. I guess my health, that's it. And they really didn't have, they just felt so blessed. They felt so blessed already with everything that God had given them. And, most of them, they would either just pray, well, yeah, I guess just to keep me healthy, or they would pray for someone else in their family or something. But it just, that was the biggest whoa for me.